Hey folks, it's Friday, January the 14th. I know this is a little bit late. We actually did a Facebook Live broadcast today with our favorite person, Dr. Jane Kelly from DHEC, Assistant Epidemiologist, and take time to take a listen to that. Her information was extraordinary, and I've already sent you the slides that she used. Yeah, I know people say, well, I looked at the slides, but I'll tell you, when you hear some of the explanation and the information that she gives us from those slides, it's really quite incredible. Uh, I had a couple of takeaways from it, though. One of the questions that y'all brought up for her to think about and answer was, what if I've had COVID? When can I get my shot? Either my vaccination, first or second shot, or even my booster? And her answer was pretty clear, and it's what we've been following and advising folks in our own situations. And that is, if you've been sick with COVID, once your symptoms get better, and once you're out of isolation, and you know those guidelines, furnished them to y'all quite a bit now, then you can get the shot. It's pretty much that simple. Whether that shot is a first or second part of the vaccination series or the booster. So it used to be, it got real confusing. Now, if you've gotten the monoclonal antibody infusion, yes, you have to wait 90 days on that, but not just if you've just had COVID. Um, don't mean it to say just had COVID because that's no fun whatsoever. But anyway, I hope that helps answer some questions. But take a look at her Facebook Live, the blog that Marek and Daniel do. Very good, very good. Gift cards. You know, we did a wonderful drive to get gift cards out to those Kentucky tornado victims. And so far, we've done $6,010 worth of gift cards. That's amazing. You are amazing. You were generous, kind hearted, thoughtful, and caring. And there's still opportunity. I know, and I've talked about this before, that I can speak from experience. Their needs will be around for quite a while. And sometimes there's a lot of support in the very beginning, but then as things start kind of getting out of everybody's mind or what have you, people forget. And let me tell you, that part of our geography, Kentucky and those surrounding areas, they're going to have needs for an awful long time. So John Douglas is still collecting gift cards. We still send them up there periodically, and they still so appreciate our support and help. You're amazing. Um, in some brief Care South COVID news, I admit it is tough now. Frankly, in my opinion, it's the toughest that it's ever been in more ways than one. Uh, we've had anywhere from 36 to 40 employees a day that have had to be off in quarantine or isolation or essentially not able to come to work. That has been really, really hard on you all, and I know. We've been adhering to the CDC quarantine and isolation plans for contingency in healthcare facilities. And in some other cases, actually three cases this week, three situations this week where we had to move into the crisis category as recommended by CDC. Bennettsville Pharmacy, the Hartsville Lab, and Dillon. We had to actually move those locations and services into crisis. We don't want to move a service or a site into crisis, and we will not do it if uh, the folks that are impacted, those who have tested positive, aren't comfortable doing it. We will shut the service or the site down. So don't feel pressured. If indeed this has to happen, we've learned some hard lessons. We cannot be all things to all people. I know that there are those amongst us who just, and I'm one of them, who hate to see us not meeting the needs of patients. But folks, during this crisis, it's been a hard reality check for me, but I am now very much aware that we cannot meet all the needs that people would like us to meet, whether it's in our offices, whether it's in monoclonal antibody infusions, whether it's in testing. It's in a lot of different categories. You are doing the best you can, and I know that. I see it. We're running about as hard as we can. We ourselves are sick. We're exhausted. We're worried about our own families and the rest of it, our friends and our communities. We're anxious. All of that. Um, so I hear you. During this period, we may not be able to meet the needs of all people. I've let the site administrators know, and I want to reinforce it today. If a site can't do testing or can't do vaccinations, and I've even said this to the monoclonal antibody infusion site, if we can't do it, we just can't do it. If we've run out of supplies, if there are employees that um, are sick or haven't been able to come into work or whatever the reasons are, and there are a lot of them, if we can't do it, then we shouldn't do it. And it's okay not to do it. We actually are going to have signage put up so that patients will know in advance if we're not doing drive-through testing or what have you. Our web page and Facebook pages burn up with Amanda's updates, and I know she's probably scrambling to keep up to date on all this, and sometimes we might miss something. Just be patient, be gentle, be kind. But please understand, I understand our limits. They are there and they are real. Um, I don't know, there's a whole lot more to talk about uh, other than to reiterate to join up in that Facebook Live and hear what Dr. Kelly has to say. But I do have a really fun announcement to make. Um, Tim Brown, our nurse practitioner over in Latta, and Tim actually is from Latta, has been elected the nurse practitioner of the year in Dillon County. We are so proud of Tim and what he brings to services and to the patients in Dillon and in Latta. Nurse practitioner of the year in the whole county. Congratulations, Tim. That is so awesome. And we so appreciate your choice of having Care South Carolina be your employer of choice. I'm going to close. Monday is a holiday, our Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. Right before we have our Black History Month in February. I always think it's very special that in the middle of this month we kind of stop and give thoughts and think about not only Martin Luther King Jr., but also that history as part of who we are in the United States. So we've got a holiday. I hope for most of us that it's going to be a peaceful and restful. I have to confess that it's going to be a very tough day for me personally. Many of y'all have met my little Yorkie, Samson, in the very early days of this video broadcast. Samson often begged for me to put him in my lap, and I had to stop the video and pick up Samson. He has to have surgery on Monday. He tore his ACL, rent a dog, it's called CCL. And I know how parents feel. Well, actually, I know how parents must feel because I'm not a parent myself, except to my pups and kitties and horses and donkeys. Whenever one that you love and care about has to go through something like surgery. So my stomach will be in knots. I'll be anxiously awaiting the outcome. And I know that Samson, and I know I will, appreciate any prayers you want to send up for us. Have a great weekend holiday. Take time to rest, to recharge, to feel better, and to know how much you are appreciated. You are appreciated by so many people across this state. You wouldn't believe it sometimes. Yeah, I know every now and then we get complaints, people fussing at us. It's hard to take in, but let me tell you, folks, you are so appreciated across the state and by me. Be safe, take care, stay healthy.